You are listening to Rooted to Earth, a SAE Innova podcast.
Life is not operating in silos. Nature is operating in systems. Soil is kind of the skin of the planet. So if you don't have healthy skin, how can you have a healthy planet for that matter? If the local community doesn't decide that this is good for them, no matter how many laws you have, you cannot move forward.
This is a space for real conversations, from farmers and scientists to community leaders and innovators, each of them working to bring nature back into balance. This is Rooted to Earth. I'm glad to introduce our very first guest. She is Christiana Gardikioti, an actress, educator, financial consultant, and founder and CEO of Meraki People, a for-profit company that highlights its mission and describes it as a pursuit for finding conditions that reunite people with nature and the miracle that is called life, creating new business models and a new community ecosystem based on those findings. Hi, Christiana. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here and hoping to touch lives.
First, I'd like you to briefly introduce and also the actions you're carrying out with Meraki People for accomplish its mission and bring people closer to nature. Could sound easy, but it seems it's taking hard work to everyone involved.
Indeed, because most people are in the pressure of earning their daily life, their daily bread in their lives. So most people are under the pressure of career and bringing enough to survive. That does not leave a heck of a lot of space to entertain other ideas or to bring nature into their lives. When I say nature, I mean all 5 living kingdoms, including the very small one, the tiny one, the microorganisms. Yes, we have nature as forests, nature as waters, nature as animals, but we also have microorganisms. And I learned in 2015 from Dr. Gunther Pauli the concept of joining the microcosm with the macrocosm and creating an economy of yeast. It was something that I did not know it even existed. And that opened a whole new reality for me and my community.
Being an actress and having developed the necessary soft skills for impersonating a character, adopting a role, taking that and at the same time bringing at the table what it is said about science facing an historic challenge of making it more sociable and connected it with real context outside a lab. How do you think that scientific and technical context could become closer to people or develop its soft skills?
Well, first of all, it is absolutely necessary. Second, science is the organization of knowledge after answering questions. You got to be curious to be a scientist, or otherwise you're not a scientist. You're not asking questions. So once you ask the question, then you are seeking the answer. And the answer usually comes with experiments, numbers, and conclusions that lead to theories, meaning universal truths in science. Excellent. But the world is not knowledge only. The world has got all kinds of different tangents that they have. So somebody needs to take this knowledge and apply it to everyday life. or otherwise it's not meaningful to them. So to me, a lot of people ask me, especially when they come to our community bio fab lab. We have a community bio fab lab. They come and they ask me, what is it that you do here? Like, what is it that you do? And I say, well, how literate are you on environmental issues? How literate are you on creating a new economy that is called bioeconomy? And the products you are making are bio-based. And how much are you aware of microbe or biome, and the biome of the soil, the living soil, is where your food is grown, which means that eventually it enters your body and then it has impact to the environment. Do you know all this information? No. Okay. So there is a need to bridge the profound knowledge that the scientists have with the common people, that they ask all kinds of questions. Why are we having droughts? Why are the trees are not yielding enough? Why are we having heat waves? These need to bridge. And then come the entrepreneurs. If we take this and we do something different and we create value, would that be good for our pocket only? Or would that be good for the community? Or would that be good for the planet? So my company, Meraki People, has this logo, this motto that says, every Meraki person works in and for nature. You don't work for an employer. You work for nature. Because if you don't look after nature, she may get upset. And upset means trouble.
Science could do marvelous things and developments, but sometimes it remains only numbers or theories. We are surrounded by technology and right now even in our hands. Do you think science and technological developments are disconnected from the communities they seek to benefit?
Yes, they operate in silos. They operate in their little world, and life is not operating in silos. Nature is operating in systems. So let's say that you have a very intricate concept in physics. You need to take an artist, and maybe this artist can explain it with colors, lines, shapes, different materials, much better than any scientist can. So why not use an artist that knows how to do sciences? And then you take someone like a lay person that takes all this knowledge and says, why can I not do something with this knowledge and this art and this technology and make money to feed my children? Meanwhile, I am not doing bad to the planet. So it is very challenging to operate in systems, not to have only one thing, to have balance, and to have intermingling between disciplines, to have an interdisciplinary situation where science, technology, engineering, environment, artists, agriculturalists, society in general, and mostly entrepreneurs They're all going to the government and they are saying, can you make the right decision for us to proceed? Then the government needs to make decisions. So it's all a system. It's nothing alone.
Talking about systems, Meraki People is actively working with GOP for All, a research and innovation action founded by the European Union, part of the program Horizon, to support the implementation of the EU mission Soil Deal for Europe. So tell me more about what you're doing as a part of as a members of the project in the Thirea Living Lab.
Thirea means door. So we are the door to the new reality. And we hope to get future-ready villages. So first of all, European Union understands and supports the concept of living soil. Soil is kind of the skin of the planet. So if you don't have healthy skin, how can you have a skinny person or a healthy person or a healthy planet for that matter? So they've created a physical laboratory where it's at the intersection of all these disciplines that they have one thing. They need to have science, for sure, business, for sure, because they need to have profits to survive, to make it sustainable, and then they need to have the citizens. But it is somebody else that decides, and that's the government. So I guess the project is called governance, meaning the way all this is working, all this is made decision to make soil a new socio-economic environmental system. So where can we see what does that mean? Well, go to the south of Greece, in the island of the Peloponnese. There you're going to find an area that is called Thirea. And then in this Thirea, the farmers were doing not practices promoting health. So they are experiencing all kinds of problems. Question, how are we solving this? Well, we are solving this by calling, as I said before, the sciences, the business people, the governance, the decision makers, but most of all, the local communities. If the local community doesn't decide that this is good for them, no matter how many laws you have, you cannot move forward. So they all have to agree on where is it that they want to go. What is top priority and what is something that they do every day in order to promote the health of the planet. And it starts with soil, because soil is a living organism. The moment you take care of the soil, you take care of the environment, but you take also care of the human gut. Human gut is the center organ that makes you healthy. And then if you are healthy, then the whole community is healthy. So government for all is an undertaking of moving forward to new realities, especially in rural areas, because they lose population left, right, and center. Everybody wants to go to the big cities and become a white-collar manager. Question, who is feeding us, who is producing our food. We need young people that they will be producing our foods, or new entrepreneurs for that matter. So I believe that Government for All is an initiative that is centering around soil, business, and community, and helps the people that govern to make the right decisions.
I'd like to ask you about two things that you mentioned. First, about the area farmers. You said, first of all, let's visit them, let's talk with them. What is the reaction of farmers when they feel they are listened to? They can speak up their voices and share their needs.
Correct. This is step number 2. You've missed the whole step number 1. And I'm sorry to say, but they don't trust, they're disappointed, and they're hopeless. And they're threatened. So when they see something new, they're not eager and willing to change. One day we do this, and the next day we do that. So they need to understand, they need to be educated, they need to develop literacy, both in a new economy, in bioeconomy, and in environment. And also, especially in Greece, every farmer works alone. They don't have this idea of, well, how about if we take Fernando, and if we take Christiana, and if we take Mario, and we form a cooperative? Then a lot of weak people make a huge, strong chain. They don't know how to do that, and they're failing. Now, once they understand, once you have established trust, and once you have brought in scientists that they speak almost the same language with farmers, and farmers understand, oh, she or he is here to help me. They're not here to take advantage of me. They're not here to push me into something. They're here to give me solutions, and we are working together, and I am the person that is implementing. Then we go to your step number 2. They're happy, they're more hopeful, and they're more willing to change. But getting to step 2 is like giving birth to twin elephants. It is not rather easy. It's hard, and it's hard work. So, but it is hard, and it is rewarding, because once you've done it, then you feel, oh, what a wonderful opportunity for change, what wonderful opportunity to make a dent in the community, and how fulfilling. So hard but fulfilling is my answer.
The other thing that you highlighted and mentioned above all, it's soil. Why do you think that people in general don't think about soil and its health from the fundamental point of view that it has for life? Soil, it's just there, we are living with it, but we are not thinking about it.
We have about, you see, I'm talking real in here. Athens, the capital city of Greece, has 5 million people. The kids, the young generation, has never seen a chicken laying an egg. I mean, where do kids see chickens? On TV. They have not touched a chicken. Kids don't know where the milk is coming from, because they have never kind of drew milk out of a cow or a sheep or a goat. they don't know where oranges grow on orange trees because they have never picked up actually an orange from an orange tree. So 5 million, half of the population of my country lives in an environment that is infested with cement. So what are you talking about soil? Soil is in the countryside. And a few years ago, to be working with soil, that meant hard work, that meant not very good profits, and that meant kind of stagnation because you did not have a wonderful high-class career. You were just a farmer or you were just a shepherd. It's not a societal recognition like a surgeon, for example. Everybody talks about a surgeon. Everybody talks about a lawyer. I don't see very many people talking about farmers. I don't see very many people talking about shepherds. So, on top of the fact that you are in a geographical place where you are surrounded by cement, hardly you see a tree, and the fact that everybody talks about careers that they have to do with money, with status. No career has this wonderful outside wrapping that says you need to have balance, you need to be one with nature, you need to touch the soil and understand it. So it takes a whole new learning and a whole new perspective to understand what the soil do. And a personal note, before I am here and I'm talking to you, I was in New York, in the New York Stock Exchange, and I was working as a trader. You think that soil was my number one issue? No. Buying and selling shares was my issue. Right now, I've changed. I grew. I understood that what good is to have $1 million in the bank when you are not healthy, when the planet is not healthy, and where your kids grow in sickness. It's not good. So I came back to nature. I came back to a career that gave me the opportunity to touch soil.
Returning to Thirea Living Lab, the GoPro project spans around 4.5 years, but the changes it aims for are long term. How do you think it should be structured to foster lasting commitment and achieve a feasible transformation?
One step at a time is the answer. For example, after you discuss with people, you need to implement. And you need to implement in small scale and make some money. This is reality. Because, okay, we change, but the change needs to be implemented and making economic sense. So from the beginning, from the start of the project, you need to think small steps, concrete steps, sustainable, meaning you make a small profit, and then you think, can we now scale up? Can we do that? Then you think big. You don't start with thinking big. You start with implementing a real situation in a small scale and making it sustainable at that scale. And of course, if 100 people can do this, then all of a sudden you have exponential impact. You don't have just one person changing. It is more inclusive, it is more fair, and it is more humane and moving forward, because you leave no one behind. So that's, I think, the key would be to absolutely go slow, go concrete, go business, but work for nature, not for the employer.
Finally, when was the last time you saw a chicken?
Laying eggs. Yesterday.
Joking aside, taking the Meraki People's mission, we mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, bringing people closer to nature, how do you think that those who are surrounded by concrete buildings could be closer to nature?
Fernando, imagine that you have a farmer that has done small steps, is now successful, has seen the difference, and has a cousin in Athens. Isn't this farmer motivated to say, cousin, come and see me? Okay, which means one cousin can turn into 10 cousins and 5 aunts, right? So the people that you've trained and you've changed, they now become the principal ambassadors of that change. So it's not just Christiana, it's Christiana with the 15 first farmers, that the 15 first farmers go to the people in Athens and they say, come, look at the change that is happening. Look how happy we are and how happy we can make you. All of a sudden, you have impact. So I believe that once the farmers see the change that is happening, they will become beacons or amplifiers of that change.
Christiana, thank you so much for your time and for being here with us.
You and the organization that you represent, you have a formal invitation to come and see our chickens and devour our eggs. So you are more than welcome to come. Thank you very much for having me.
This is Rooted to Earth.